This one says "Fck Being Perfect," and I think
Yeah.
perfectionism has been one of my
Mm.
biggest like setbacks in life where I always try to make things look it has to be this way, a certain way, and there's so much control and force. But the beauty is in the like the letting go and the surrendering. And I just think it's such a beautiful reminder for women that fuck being perfect, right? It doesn't have like messy action is the best action. And everything that's unfolded for me in my life and my business has been from messy action rather than this perfect, like 100% have to have it all figured out action. The messy action is where all the magic has happened in my life. So fuck be perfect.
Are you ready to wake up to life being the lottery and your soul being the jackpot?
Welcome back, Miracle. You just walked into a field of magic, synchronicity, and straight up soul jackpot energy. Here, we don't play small. We remember who we really are. Infinite, golden, and ready to catch those wild, life-changing moments the universe keeps tossing your way. Inside every episode, you're getting real-time reminders that you are already enough. Cosmic nudges to dream bigger and actually believe it. Guests who keep it real, raw, and unapologetically human. And a whole lot of spontaneous magic that might just leave you saying, wait, did that just happen? Because around here, vulnerability is sexy as fuck. And we're not here to hide our brilliance. Get ready, because today, the universe is totally in your corner, tossing confetti like it's on a sugar high. Let's dive in. Well, I really hope you're catching the video of this today because Krista showed up. Look at her. She's wearing her big heart sunglasses and this beautiful hat, and it just makes me feel like beach vibes, California. Like, let's go. And then she knew I had a pair of heart sunglasses, so I was like, I'm gonna go put them on for real. Like, look at how we're bringing the fire today, Krista.
I think it's so crazy because I've been saying this a lot, and I think it was just like surrendering to just caring what anybody else would think. If the universe literally told me this morning, I'm like, you need to wear your heart sunglasses, and it was like it almost felt like a little bit like child like, not childish, but childlike, but playful. And I'm like, man, I think that's the exact energy that we're meant to bring today. So I love that we're doing this.
Me too. That's my jam. I mean, I did a whole episode wearing a Care Bear t-shirt and my hair in pigtails. So I embrace
Yes.
that side of me often. And I think it's really important because as adults we get a little too serious.
Well, we do. And
Mhm.
I know I am definitely guilty of that. And I always like when I was younger and like well not younger, I guess like in the 25s and like kind of that era where you're like thinking about having kids and it was never like high on my radar. But my partner, my husband now was like wanted kids hands down, and so I was like, well, let's do this. Like not I'm not afraid of anything. Like I'm a full committer, jump right in. And it's the best thing that ever happened to me because my kids teach me so much on being present, being joyful, kind of that carefree and unapologetically showing up. They don't have as much of the filters and the predisposition like we do. So it's like holy. I think like my kids right now would be so proud that I'm doing this podcast in heart glasses. They're like, you should just live like that, mom. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. Like, why am I not? Right?
Amazing. Yeah, and so they're not teenagers yet, I'm assuming.
No, they're 6 and 7, so they're still very, very beautiful
Yeah.
spirits. Yeah,
Yeah. And not that they become awful spirits when they're teenagers, but the game does change a little bit. And I love that you're curating that playfulness for yourself because you'll need it, right? Throughout your journey as a mom. And speaking of playfulness, though, I just wanted to give you a little bit of an intro to our
sure.
listeners because you're amazing. I mean, everybody can already feel your vibes and your energy is just super high. It's ecstatic, really. But you have what I feel is like beyond jewelry. Because when I spoke to you actually before this interview that we're doing today, you were just so clear on your message and your branding and how you make this jewelry from such an intention and heart-filled place of letting women feel like they have their own personal cheerleader. Like this joy
Absolutely.
motivates them. And I think that's so beautiful and it's so unique. Can you share a little bit about that with us?
Absolutely. And I think that for me, a lot of the times, like our purpose is our pain. And I think that's what it was for me. I was constantly showing up, I guess, in a world of how I think just how the world expected me to show up, or just these really heavy things that I was carrying with myself. And I'm like, man, at the end of the day, I am stuck with me for the rest of my life, whether, which is beautiful place to be. So it's like, why not be our own number one fan and biggest cheerleader instead of the opposite where we can easily fall into of the self-sabotage and not loving things about ourselves or just picking ourselves apart or being so hard on ourselves, which it's great to have beautiful high standards, but at the end of the day, man, like we just need to be like loving and a little bit kinder to this body, to this soul, to this person that we are, because there'll never be another one of us. We're stuck
Yeah.
with us. So let's be a little bit kinder and nurturing. So I think a lot of the pieces that I designed were a little bit around that, right? Where it's just like, man, I want every woman to wake up in the morning and just feel, and I say it's not hard work, it's heart work, but it's one of the most challenging things I've ever done is the showing up for myself and giving myself that
Mhm.
love and filling up my own cup first, because it almost seems like we've been taught maybe backwards to do that, where you need to help everybody else and then you, or maybe as a mom that happens naturally where you're giving so much. But man, I have learned the hard way from hitting the rock bottom to being like, no, when you're having to build yourself up from your lowest low, you're like, no, it's very important that I am number one, that I'm priority, and I need to cheer myself on first. So that's the whole point, right?
Yeah, I love that. And I mean, how many people can relate to hitting rock bottom and then
Yeah.
having to build yourself back up? It's not an easy task. It's not
No,
for the faint of heart. It takes a lot of
no.
courage and even grit. And what is your process, if you have one, to bring yourself to the place where you feed your soul and your spirit first, and then you serve from a place of overflow?
Yes. And actually, this is a great question right now because I feel like I'm a little bit in that season of depletion where I know the signs when they come in, where it turns into like sleeping in or lethargic or fueling my body with garbage, or I just start like self-sabotaging. And when I get in that mode, I know something's triggering me that I need to be more mindful of. So when I'm in those seasons, right, for sure, it's like, okay, girl, something's maybe like coming in that's really rubbing you the wrong way. So I'm definitely have to be mindful with that. And for me, I know what it is. It starts with just like giving myself that love. First, I tell myself to give myself grace, because I think when we're faltering to a point where whether it's like I've put on too much weight over Christmas, or I'm slacking in my job, or I'm not being a present mom, or whatever we're beating ourselves up with, I think we just need to like pause, give ourselves some grace, and be like, you know what? You're not purposely trying to like be the shittiest at this, right? It just happens.
Mhm.
And so it's like, okay, let's pick ourselves up. We know we can be doing a bit better. And like, what is one thing? Don't give yourself this big task list, because I feel like that's what we do. We're like, I'm going to change all this, and then nothing gets done, right? Give yourself one thing that you can do that's going to put a little bit of a smile on your face. Maybe it's going to give you that little bit more pep in your step today. And what is one thing that you can do for yourself? And for me, that is sunshine, that is nature, that is outdoors. I can go outside for 15, 20 minutes by myself in that beautiful outdoors, and I come back a new person. I don't know what it is, but it is just it's a blessing. So maybe I haven't been outside enough. Maybe it's been 5,000 degrees and I'm just like, I ain't going out there. But my soul needs it, right? And listen to that.
Yeah.
Our heart knows exactly what we always need, but
Mhm.
we're so busy being busy and the all the outside noise that we forget what we just like to do, right?
Yeah, I love that. And that's something that we have in common is I ask myself almost on a daily basis what my heart needs or what my soul needs. And
Yeah.
it's just a great check-in, especially for women, especially for business owners and solo entrepreneurs. It takes a lot and we can get pulled in all these different directions, and to be able to come back to the soul and nourish and feed ourselves, it's a practice. And I think you nailed it that it only takes one small simple step. And that can be different for everybody. I
Yeah.
love that it's sunshine in nature for you. And there's just so many different ways. So I think to stay open to what works for somebody and also that it can change. Like it can change day to day for me.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's funny you said that. When I was like, I'd say probably my lowest low of my whole life, I was really battling with depression, and which was such a foreign, I never really experienced that before.
Mhm.
And when I found myself in it, I was just like, first of all, I didn't know I was in it. And then just like trying to like figure out like, okay, what is this? Like, why are you so sad? Why? And I think there was so much shame around it. I think that was the
Mm.
problem, that I wasn't allowing myself to be like, okay, so what? Like, you're sad, you're lonely, you're depressed. Like, it's okay. I think there was so much shame around it that I wasn't allowing myself to feel the emotions. I'd be like, nope, I'm good. I'm fine. Everything's great. Right. And I
Yeah.
think that's like what you said so beautifully. Just allow ourselves to go into our soul and be like, yeah, I'm not okay. And I think the bravest thing we can do is ask for help. Right. And I had such a beautiful community and network of people that were literally, I think, like just all waiting to be like, oh, thank God she finally asked for help, right? Like, we don't want
Yeah.
to overstep our boundary, but like, thank you. Like, yes, I'd be more
Yeah.
than happy, right? So I think sometimes we're just so scared to ask for help, whether it's be like, honey, I just like, I'm so overwhelmed. Could you just help put the laundry away or whatever it is? It could be just one small thing that just makes you go, oh, like thank you, I feel so seen. And just those
Hmm.
little things are so necessary in life, where we don't have to carry it all, we don't have to be like the big like tough one all the time. We can be like, yeah, I'm struggling, yeah, I'm having a hard time. And I think that's where the magic always happens, is when we are like get to that vulnerable point and be like, yeah, maybe I'm not okay, or maybe I need some help, or just allowing yourself just to be human, period, right?
Yeah, such an important reminder because we can bypass so much. And I think it's important for women too that we wear resilience like a crown and it can
Right?
turn into more tolerance. Like we tolerate almost to the point where we don't allow ourselves to actually just accept and feel whatever emotion that we're experiencing because it's energy and it actually just needs to move.
Yeah, and that's just it. And I think just exactly, well said, girl. And the few times when find myself back in kind of those familiar, like uncomfortable feelings of like I feel like we hide from sadness, we hide from like
Mhm.
these uncomfortable emotions and fear and doubt and worry and these things, but we do need them. They are very like, they tell us a lot about ourselves. But I think like you said too, it's like, okay, thanks for showing up. What are you here to tell me, and work through it rather than pushing it away, because it'll keep coming back. So well said with that, that we just like, maybe it's like I've kind of built a new relationship with it, and like I'm gonna give it a hug now and say, hi,
Yeah.
thank you for showing up, and you are part of me, and we're gonna work through this together. And I am my own number one fan, and I can get through anything I go through, because like anybody watching right now or listening, I'm like, you're basically a goddamn professional at making it through the stuff, because you're still standing, you're still here. So I think if we believe in ourselves enough, we trust ourselves, we don't always have to be so strong, but we can like, we can just, I like the idea of just being our own cheerleader, being like, okay, maybe if it seems like we're all alone and there's no one else, I got me, right? Like, I got me,
Yeah.
we'll get through this.
Yeah. And if in retrospect, if we look back in our lives, we've gotten through everything.
Yeah. And I think that's beautiful, right?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
really love that. What's your favorite piece of jewelry right now? Because I see you wearing quite a bit, but I would love to ask you that question.
That's so funny. I think it actually works perfectly with our topic right now, too. My favorite piece, and I'm not sure if we're allowed to swear, but it's coming
Go
out.
ahead.
This one says "Fck Being Perfect," and I think
Yeah.
perfectionism has been one of my
Mm.
biggest like setbacks in life, where I always try to make things look, it has to be this way, a certain way, and there's so much control and force. But the beauty is in the like the letting go and the surrendering. And I just think it's such a beautiful reminder for women that fuck being perfect, right? It doesn't have like messy action is the best action. And everything that's unfolded for me in my life and my business has been from messy action rather than this perfect, like 100% have to have it all figured out action. The messy action is where all the magic has happened in my life. So fuck be perfect. Just allow yourselves to
That's
show up, right? And like
it's
I think it
so
takes the stress and the tension off. Like
yes.
just saying that makes me want to do like a cartwheel and like run through a brick wall.
Wow, a
Fuck
cartwheel
yeah.
and running through a brick wall. Oh, you just
Right?
made my mind go into an image. And I was like, could I really handle that? But I love it because it's so true. I've seen a pattern actually in people's lives that if we're brought up in a very constricting sort of way that we actually internalize that as I need to be perfect in order to be loved, accepted, because we fear like the abandonment and the rejection. Because I have the same thing. I always say I'm a recovering perfectionist.
Right.
Yeah, and I catch myself in those moments. And I agree with you though, as an artist, even as a podcaster, I mean, the best stuff that has come through me is when I am totally open and I don't have a story about how it should go.
Yes. And I think that's just a perfect way to channel that into our life too, right? Like, honestly, like we don't know what's going to happen. Nobody has a crystal ball, but sometimes we're so like trying to control how everything needs to unfold. And like, maybe we just don't need to know. And like, not like there's so much to it where like I'm definitely a recovering perfectionist as well, because I think it kind of stems back to a little bit of that, yeah, like that fear of not being liked or loved or the rejection or a lot of things that you think you need to show up a certain way or my
Mhm.
business needs to look a certain way just for people to like me or whatever it is. But I think when you actually let go of that and you like the more I've let down this wall which I thought was protecting me was actually hiding all the best parts of me, and the more I let this wall down and I am goofy and I am like just exactly who I'm meant to be and a weirdo and funny and funky and all of those really amazing adjectives, life, the people that are meant to find you, and everything just flows so much better instead of you just trying to show up to people please or whatever, right?
Yeah. Yeah, you said that very, very like hitting the nail on the head, people pleasing. And
Yeah.
it's a process to like undo that identity for sure. But it's so liberating.
Right? It's honestly it's probably one of the most challenging things I ever have done. But I'm like, if it doesn't challenge you, it doesn't change you. And I love that. Like to
Mhm.
get things you've never had, you need to do things you've never done before. And like, and yeah, a lot of the times that's uncomfortable, but on the other side of that is freaking amazing. So if we can just
Yes.
get through that really uncomfortable, like that fear, that uncomfortableness, on the other side of that is so much magic. But sometimes it feels really foreign and gross. So we always go back to the comfort zone and the cycle just kind of keeps repeating. But like, that's a question I get asked a lot too. They're like, well, how have you like got this confidence and like worked yourself up? I'm like, oh, that takes time, honey. And it's probably going to be like a journey for the rest of my life. But I love it. I love doing something that makes me feel uncomfortable. I love feeling the feelings that are kind of like stirring in there that I know I need to address, because I know when I do that, I don't love the word hard, but I always call it like heart work. When I do that heart work, there's so much that I learn about myself, and that is a beautiful place to be. Beautiful place to be.
Yeah, it's how we expand. I always think that those uncomfortable feelings that bubble up are actually one of our greatest teachers because they're there to show us what we're capable of, and we are actually capable of being a big enough human to hold the space for those uncomfortable emotions so that that energy can actually be transmuted and transformed into more of us. We actually experience more of our essence and our being. And it's miraculous, it's beautiful, we grow, and that's the dance.
Yes. And I think we're all here. Like, I feel like for me, if I'm not growing, I'm kind of dying. And what I mean by
Mhm.
that is like, I love to learn. Like, I'm a human, and it can be something just as simple as learning how to plant some flowers in the spring. Like, it can be anything where we're just learning little things like throughout our life and our evolution. We're meant to do that. And I think the best thing that we'll ever do is that investment in ourselves. And I think that's why I'm so passionate with the jewelry and the words, where I feel like have found this calling with I want women to really see their beauty, their self-worth, and own who they are, because
Yeah.
we all have such magic and gifts. And if we can just give ourselves that love and that trust and learn more about who we are, like you said, that expansion is beautiful, and we show up differently when we're giving ourselves that attention.
Yes, we're not trying to get it from everybody else.
Yes. And that's just it. Like, I think a beautiful practice, like, I used to be scared to be like by myself, right? And I
Hmm.
think like the more I've worked through that uncomfortableness and like what is it? Why are you so scared? It's like that like abandonment thing of being by yourself. And the more I push through those emotions and work through them, and what is it? I love being by myself now. It's such a beautiful place to be. And I'm like, I don't know why it was so scary before, but it is so fun, like, just to learn those things, right?
Yeah, I mean, and we go through cycles of that because for me, I'm the opposite right now. I'm like learning to be around people more because I've had
Ah,
so much time by myself, right?
yeah,
So some in some situations it depends on what it is. For sure, that uncomfortable feeling comes up, and it really is goes back to what we were talking about, which is what are they going to think of me? What if I fall back into that people pleasing syndrome? You know what I mean? The ego really tries to distract you from who you really are, which isn't this. It's not our
no.
body, it's not our mind. We're beautiful. Our essence is just so magnetic.
Right. And I talk about that a lot, which I think is probably why I think practice what you preach. Basically, I show up
Mhm.
authentically myself, because if that's what I want to preach with my brand, I need to live that too. And I
Yeah.
think I want to be that kind of like, not that I'm forcing you guys to wear bright hats and sunglasses and color, but just to be you, right? Like, this makes me happy to show up authentically myself. The more I would stuff down who I was and not allow myself to be fully seen for who I am, actually created a lot of depression, a lot of anxiety with me, a lot of disease within my body, like physical pain, right? So when we're
Mhm.
not fully expressing who we are, it shows up in so many other ways in our life. So I think one of the highest vibration is authenticity, and you will feel it when somebody, and that's what I mentor a lot of other people in business too, that where they're like, well, how do I like put my stuff out into the world? How do I get people to like it? I'm like, people will feel that authenticity before anything. You don't even have to speak. When you could just like, they'll feel it. When you put what you are so good at and what you love out into the world, they'll feel it. It's a feeling, it's a vibration. You don't even have to say a word, right?
Yeah.
So when you're creating from that place, man, it's an unstoppable force. And even for us to live in that, right? And like, I really, it sounds so simple, but it isn't. Just to be you, right? It's like I've said it over and over so much. Sometimes I'm like, what does it even mean, right? Sometimes we don't even know who we are. So it's so like such a strong chord that just like irks me with women. I'm like, well, there's my passion, there's my purpose right there, right? If it's that calling of women just being who they are, the unstoppable, beautiful, authentic versions of them.
Mm. I love that. It also reminded me of how we're always that.
Yeah,
And it doesn't matter if we are a size 6 or a size 8 or a size 12 or we're 22 or 67. Do you know what I mean?
right.
Like that has no bearing. We're
Nothing.
still us in all of those bodies. And I
Yes.
think recognizing that and owning that is just incredibly powerful, like you said.
Totally. And I think we get wrapped up. Like, I talk about this kind of now that we're coming into that spring summer season, and actually designed a necklace that says screw what they think, because in the kindest way possible, but so many of us like won't get in the water, won't wear the swimsuit, won't wear the
Mm,
shorts, won't do the thing because we're too scared of what other people think. But those people are already too worried over here what other people are thinking of them, so they're not even looking at you. And if they are judging you, it has nothing to do with you. It's their own insecurity anyway. So I think like that's one of the like who decided what the right size is or the number on the
yeah.
scale? Like who made this up? Like who decided this, right? So I one of the things like we have anklets and a lot of people be like, oh, my ankle's fat. And I'm like, no, it's you're exactly the way you're meant to be. There is nothing wrong with you. So we have like a full-on Cinderella moment. So we customize it to fit them instead of making them feel shameful that they have to fit into a mold. So it's like one of those things that drives me
Yes.
bonkers. It's like I've wanted to create this inclusive environment, and that's why I gravitate towards jewelry because it's more size inclusive. We did try the whole clothing thing, but I just found like number one, for a small business, it was extremely expensive to do such a full size run, and it hurt me when we didn't have from the smallest size to whichever like someone would go, you don't have a 3XL. It would break my heart. I'd be like, well, I'll get that
Mm,
in for you tomorrow. But then it's like one of those things where it's like that was kind of more of like a people pleasing, but I was like, this isn't my like I don't want anybody to feel left out. So I went back to what I know best and jewelry where they can put it on. It's size inclusive. It tells your story. You can wear it 365 and it if it can remind you to show up as you each day, a
mm,
small little thing that you can put on to love you. I feel like, okay, I can put my head on my pillow happy. Like, I want that for women. I truly do because that's been my human condition of not loving myself or thinking I need to be this number on the scale, this size, this color hair, this whatever it is that we think we need to be.
yeah.
We're it already, right? We're it already. We are exactly what we're meant to be. So
Yes.
it's
Oh,
just, yeah.
I have goosebumps everywhere from you
Yeah,
saying
like
all of that.
I could go off on a tangent. Sometimes I do. I'll just like jump on like YouTube live and just go crazy on one of my walks talking about this because I'm just so passionate about it because it's been I think I struggled with still a little bit, not as much anymore, but for about 22 years with body dysmorphia, eating disorders and stuff like that, like really heavy, which has nothing to do with the food. It's like it's all
Yeah.
this like mindset and like thinking that we need to be a perfect sort of way, right? So like that's
Hmm.
why it goes full circle, like fuck being perfect. It could be on a
Yeah.
cute little
Ah,
heart, right? Like a nice colorful heart, but if she's got a little pep in her step on the backside, reminding women like fuck all of that. Like,
yeah.
girl, put that swimsuit on. You know what? It inspires me more than anything. Like if I'm at the beach or at a pool or water slides with my kids, I love seeing a woman just running up the stairs, cellulite, like everything's jiggling. I'm like, fuck yeah. Like that excites me more than somebody sitting on the sidelines with a t-shirt on, covered up, hiding their body. I'm like, that woman's living her life. We all have cellulite. We all have this. Not all of us have stretch marks, but whatever. Like the point is, you have a body, love it, enjoy your life, right? Like let's. Who cares if somebody's looking at it? Like why is that so hard for us to swallow?
Yeah, it's because it's everywhere in our face. But I love that you said that because I'm the same woman on the beach. If somebody's like just being vibrant in themselves and
Yeah.
you know what I mean, that just lights me the fuck
Me
up.
too. Like this is a perfect example. We went camping with our friends last year and she had just had a baby and she sat down in her chair and she had the coolest bikini on and I was like, wow, Vicky, like, where'd you get that? She's like, oh, this is old. But she's like, I was actually like didn't want to say anything, but she's like, the only reason I wore this bathing suit is because like you were preaching it on your page about like wear the dang swimsuit. And I'm like, I'm sitting here being inspired by her, but it was like a full circle moment. She was like, I was like, well, why the frick am I sitting in my chair all scared to go in the water? But she was inspired by me. So I was like, oh my God. So it was kind of like, no, girl, like get out there. And like I'm
Yeah.
missing out on memories by like really being so hyper focused on what other
Mm.
people think. And it's just like, if I could just help like shift that little bit of that mindset, obviously within myself, and then be that leader in that face of that too, where, yeah, like the perfectionism, the caring too much what other people think, and just fully being who we just need to be in this world, right?
Yeah, and all I can feel is like Where's your TED Talk? How come you're not traveling and speaking on stages all over the world? How come your brand hasn't blown up as global yet? Like, what can we
Right?
do on this podcast right here, right now to get you exploded in like a rocket ship energy? Because that's what I feel from you. I see you as that already.
Yeah, and I am. And I know what the thing is, Amy, which is funny. It's like our own imposter syndrome and our
Mm,
own like selves getting in our own way, right? Like for me, I don't have a fear of like failure. Failure like actually excites me because it means I'm trying a lot. I'm getting a lot of no's. I'm taking the steps. I'm doing the things. Failure doesn't scare me. It's like actually is a good thing for me because it knows I'm trying like crazy. And pivoting and figuring it out. I love that. Success does scare me because it's still another thing that you can't control and you don't know how it's going to unfold as well. It's just like failure, right? But I'm like I do have a fear of success, I'm not going to lie. So it's one of those things that I'm working on right now too. It's like being seen, telling your story, because
mm.
how selfish of me not to share this. I'm going to cry. Thank God I have the glasses on. uh, there's gonna be little heart teardrops. But it's like, how dare I be so selfish that I don't share this? Because there's
Mm,
women out there that need that reminder, that need that love and that story and that hardship that we've all been through of not loving who we are and showing up as like we are beautiful gifts. I say this all the time and my kids love it too. It's like there'll never be another you. Like that's badass. That is freaking
mhm.
amazing. Like you don't have to be pretty like her or her or her or her. We can be inspired by other people, but we need to look in the mirror. And this is what I want for everybody listening for the next 30 days. I want you to say in the mirror, I did this. It was the hardest thing I did, which sounds so simple, but I would look myself in the eyes in the mirror when I'm brushing my teeth in the morning. I would say to myself 3 times, I love you, Krista Lee. I love you, Krista Lee. I love you, Krista Lee. And I bawled my eyes out and I almost couldn't even look at myself. I was like, holy shit, for the longest time I didn't even know my eyes were that green. Like it was like
Mm.
I don't even see myself, right? So it was such a powerful exercise. Holy shit. There's a lot of emotion here. But it was like, yeah, like if I'm not going to love myself, who will? If I'm not going to give myself that chance to be seen and heard, who will? So it's like me just building myself up one little like thing at a time, giving myself the love. And like it was really cool. Like about like I'd say week 3, I was like almost like, oh, it was kind of getting fun. I was like, I love you, Krista Lee. Then you'd notice something else. You like, yeah, you do got a cute butt, Krista Lee. And then you were just like started like almost complimenting other things about yourself. So it was a
Yeah.
really cool practice where if you could start to give yourself that love, it was like almost like, oh, what's next, right? Then I started like wearing the color that I love to wear and showing up the way I wanted to show up. And it was almost like me opening up that door and giving other women permission, right? Where it's like, yeah, like I love color. Okay, great. If you love color, wear it. If you want to wear black. But like, just do you. Don't do it for anybody else. I actually have a crazy post coming up, and it's probably going to get a little bit of like feathers raised because it almost seems kind of maybe what's
Be the
wait,
contradiction.
the contradiction. Yes, exactly. Which I'm
Yeah.
kind of excited about it, but it's like sometimes I'm like, what self-love can look so different and
Hmm.
depression can look different. Like I shared this beautiful, like if I look like this right now, maybe it took me till 1:30 to get out of bed today, right? Like depression looks different for everybody or struggle looks different for everybody, right? So it's this one thing that I just, like you said, what is one thing, if there's anything, I love people that have tools. Like I love when people are inspired off of a podcast, but I also love when they have tangible tools that they can take home and use every day. I would be happier than I live on a farm, happier than a pig in shit. If women would seriously try that practice of saying, I love myself 3 times in the mirror, it was, I remember even doing it, like I was doing a workout in front of the mirror too, and I was bawling while I was working out because it was just that connection and actually saying, I love you and meaning it and feeling it once you get there is one of the most magical things I've ever done in my life. I honestly, it sounds so silly and simple, but I want everyone to try it. It is just so rewarding if you
Yeah.
once you get to the other side of that it was so hard for me for like 3 weeks, almost a month. On the other side of that was so beautiful.
Yeah, it's not silly. I've been doing mirror work for over a decade. It is
Yes.
powerful and profound. And I think when we look in the mirror, we often don't actually see ourselves.
We
And
don't.
most of the time, we're picking apart what we don't like and we
Yeah.
focus on that. And as we know, whatever we focus on, that's where our energy goes.
Yes. And that's, I literally tell my kids that too. And I'm like, what you think about, you bring about, guys, right? I'm like, are we stinking thinking here, right? Like, is this something that serves you or is this not? And I think
Mhm.
sometimes we don't even know that we're in that place where we're thinking these things and we're manifesting the wrong things to us, right? Like you said, we might see ourselves in the mirror, but we're being like, oh, those jeans don't fit right, or like, oh, I'm getting a little wrinkly, or whatever it is that we're picking ourselves up or picking ourselves apart about.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, maybe I meant to say that. Let's pick ourselves up instead of pick ourselves apart, right?
Yes.
So, like, that is such a huge, like, that's not easy for women to do. Like, I did a post the other day. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to do this because half the stuff I am preaching about, I know I'm not the only one going through it. It's like, I was like, okay, let's write down 3 things I love about myself. We'll keep it short because 3 seems to be really hard for women to even come up with 3 things they love about themselves. It breaks my heart. And 3 things you're grateful for. And then I was like, I'm going to maybe just like try this and write down all the things that I don't like about myself or I've said about myself. Not a word of a lie, 12 freaking pages of things that I didn't love about myself or negative things that I've said. And I'm like, holy shit. Not all of them I believe, but I just thought, yeah, I'm going to write down something that has showed up before. And I was like, this is a lot. Like, this is a
Hmm.
lot. Right. So I was like, well, you know what? I feel like it could be just like put a big line across that page and be like, let's write the opposite of that. Right. Because that's the truth. That's the truth. We
Yes.
just have so much baggage and limiting beliefs that we're believing this garbage that we're telling ourselves. And I do call it garbage because that's where we need to put it in a bag and throw it out.
Hmm. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I love
Oh,
it. And you actually speak to a lot of manifestation coaches that I know that have a process of getting to know, becoming conscious of your unconscious blocks. And they actually
yes.
show up in the way we perceive ourselves. So the fact that you took the time to do that is huge. And this can like be a reoccurring process that we can give to ourselves, especially when we start to feel sticky. I
Yeah.
wanted to share with you too, because I think this will help the listeners is I've done all kinds of mirror work, but right now I'm doing one specific one that I
Ah,
learned from Lisa Nichols.
yes.
Yeah, this is actually how she saved her own life.
Yeah.
And it's 3 steps, but the first step is, and you have to say 7, you don't have to. You get to choose to say 7 things in the mirror, and they go like this. Amy, I forgive you for. 7 different things every day that you do it for 30 days. That's the invitation, saying something different, not repeating something. And then the second one is, Amy, I love you for 7 things. And then the third one is, Amy, I commit to you that 7 things. And it has been so good and so wonderful for me to take the time to do this. And I think this conversation that we're having is important, Krista, because it doesn't matter how successful somebody looks from the outside, that the reason you're probably seeing that is because of everything that they do when nobody's watching.
100%. And that's what I say. Like, I know for a fact that the stuff that people don't see that I do, like behind the scenes, is the challenging stuff, the not
Mm.
so glamorous stuff. I put in the time, I put in the energy because I know I'm worth it. I know I'm worth it. And I know I have a mission bigger than myself in this world that, like, I will be that leader. I'll do the hard work for people because I want to show them that it's possible and it's needed more so than ever. Like, these, what you wrote down, I don't know if you guys could hear me writing like a madman with my Sharpies, but I'm like, this is incredible stuff. Like, this is absolutely incredible. I kind of came into like this personal development or working on myself, like kind of stuff, like years ago, probably 8, 9, 10 years ago. And the more I dive into it, like even something just as simple as this, like you said, changed her life, saved her life, is the exact same thing that saved me from my darkest rock bottom depression, suicidal thoughts, was literally just getting up and challenging these thoughts that I was thinking. And I just took my Sharpies and I was writing in a journal over and over uplifting words, empowering words, things that I loved about myself, because I had got to this such a low point from things that weren't serving me. Like when it was that dark, that lonely, that scary, that uncertain, I was like, I don't know, the universe just like somebody gave me a big hug and I heard the words, you have it in you, you have it in you. So I just got up one day and I grabbed Sharpies, like bright, beautiful, colorful Sharpies in a dollar store journal. And I would just write out words over and over and over and over that were uplifting. And like, again, this process of doing it, like you said, whether it's a week or it's a month or it's a year, however long, that repetition and changing those thoughts was so powerful. And I started believing these words. They started showing up as them. And I'm like, yeah, you do got it. Yeah, you are amazing. Yeah, you are a rock star. And I remember my kids were only 2 and 3 at the time. And they were like, yeah, mommy, you are a rock star. So I must have been like reciting, like, I'm a rock star out loud, right? Like, it's so powerful when we can fill our minds with these uplifting things. And I am proud of you. I love you for, right? And having a beautiful, like, those are so good. I wrote these down and I'm like, yeah, this is going to be part of my new toothbrushing practice in the morning because this is badass. Like, this is what we need more of. I
Yeah.
love it.
I love it. And I would love just to add to that for the people listening who maybe don't understand why this works, but you said it beautifully. And I want to add that part of the repetition of feeding our minds like this is because it takes root in our subconscious mind and we literally change neural pathways. And so it's just like building a road, right? You do it over and over and over again, and your subconscious mind doesn't know the difference between what's real and what's imagined. So
Yeah.
eventually it takes root and you actually become that, you believe that. So thank you for sharing that.
It's so true. Our subconscious mind is so cool. Like once you dive into it and you start learning more about that, like it's like in movies too, why like we they can't like differentiate from like what is real and what isn't. That's why we like cry in movies and we're bawling because it's like it feels so real, but it's not actually happening, right? So it's just the same with us in life. Like these big feelings can feel so real, and these beliefs and these negative things that we're telling ourselves, but we can so easily say the opposite and bring in the beautiful nurturing stuff. But it takes, like you said, it takes time, it takes repetition, and the willingness to try, right? to
Mhm.
to be like, yeah, I'm gonna write down and say, I love you for today, I am proud of you for, I forgive you for, right? It takes time. Like it's like working out. I always relate it to that. It's like you don't get a nice little bicep here by just going three little cranks in one day, right? Like it
Yeah.
takes time, right? Like maybe it's going to take 6 weeks, maybe it's going to take 2 months. You don't know exactly, but when you let go of that time frame and let it just be, right? Again, letting go of trying to control and be
Yeah.
perfect and just surrender to just trying something new. Because again, like I said before, you have to, like, if there's things that that you want, that you've never had, you need to try something different. So Amy, I think these are like, if people want to do something different, I think this is a great place to start by rewriting your narrative with something positive like this and changing that inner narrative for the better. What are you proud of? What do you love about yourself? And forgiveness is a huge one too. Like,
Hmm.
even like for me in like the midst of like seasonal depression that comes in really strong for me, I can be so hard on myself because I'm such a doer. I'll be like so mad that I didn't get the things done that I wanted today and I'll punish myself. But I also just be like, I just like forgiveness. I forgive myself for like, you know what? I forgive you today, Krista Lee. You're human. You allowed yourself to just like maybe feel the feels today, and tomorrow's a new fresh start. Give yourself like maybe the next hour, be like, okay, you know what? I'm sorry that I treated you like that. And I think when we can forgive ourselves, there's so much power in that. Because I think I had that awakening when I was writing down the things that I didn't love about myself, that it really opened up a whole door where I was like, holy shit, I've been really mean to myself. I've been really hard on myself, right?
Hmm.
And was that serving me? Is that is that how I want to live out the rest of my life? Reading and seeing these horrible things and these thoughts that are going through my head? No. I want to give myself more love. Like I want to have a beautiful relationship with myself, right? And that forgiveness, I think, is a really, really, really good place to start and say, I'm sorry that I said this to you. I'm sorry that I treated you like that. I'm sorry I didn't get in the water last summer because I was scared people were staring at my cellulite, right? Like, just say
Yeah.
sorry and we have another chance to try again.
Always.
Always.
Yes. I have a couple questions that I would love to ask you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
we're
Bring
just
it.
getting close to the yeah, we're getting close to the final mark, and I just want to make sure I get these out. But I really am inspired to ask you because you're a mom.
Yeah.
What's your legacy right now that you want to leave for your children? What do you want them to know the most about life and about you?
I love that question. For my legacy for my kids, I honestly, I say this to them all the time. My legacy is just do what you want to do. I want to leave a legacy where I just went all in on my dreams, my goals. I like even for the kids, I love when something for them comes up that's challenging or hard. I welcome that with open arms. So I think for me, my legacy wants to be doing the stuff that maybe most people would run from. I'm like, oh, like open arm hug the shit out of that fear.
That's awesome.
That's would be my legacy. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, like if anything, like how people will say like on your rocking chair, like
Mm.
I don't, I have a few like big audacious things that I would love to do. Like you said, you're like, where's your TED talk? Where's like, I'm like, I envision this being a total global brand, inspiring millions, billions of people to just like fully step into who they are, right? I've always been a big dreamer. I'm like, oh, the sky's the limit, man. Like, let's do this.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
How have you grown, let's say in the last 5 years, as a woman and a wife?
Yeah, I think the biggest growth that I've seen in myself is the vulnerability piece. I was always so scared, one, to just cry in front of people, two, to say I'm struggling, I need help. That would be my biggest growth is asking for help and just letting down that wall and being like, I'm a human being, right? Like that would be the biggest growth for me because I feel like just the way I was raised, it was like, suck it up, get rid of those tears, all right? It was always just having to be so strong and so resilient and so like always having it together. But the more that
Hmm.
I would like just be like, I don't have it figured out. Actually, I have no idea what I'm doing. And I need some help was the best thing that I've ever done. First of all, it took the pressure off. And second of all, there were so many people that were willing to help. And my husband just appreciates me way more for that than being like, oh yeah, I got it all figured out, honey. Like, don't you worry. He's like, do you? And I'm like, well, no. But, right? Like, sometimes we have so much pride in thinking that we have our shit together all the time, even for our loved ones, right? But, like, it's okay if we don't. It's okay if we don't. I love that growth there. Yeah.
Yeah, I always think
Yeah.
nobody has their shit together all the
Nobody has their
time.
shit together, right?
Yeah.
I think it's this like full circle moment again with the fuck being perfect. I'm like, I do
Yeah.
not. I do not have it figured out despite
Yeah.
what it looks like, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're gonna circle back to that at the end because I want to make sure people get that piece of jewelry. Including me, and I'm not really a jewelry girl, which is very
Right?
interesting. Yeah. Okay, when you hear winning the divine lottery,
Ooh.
what's your definition of that? What does that mean for you?
Winning the divine lottery, I that's actually what really drew me to you. And I feel like winning the divine lottery is like for me how I feel when I open my eyes in the morning. When I open my eyes in the morning, it is I don't remember who it was, but maybe it was Robin Sharma, but that was one of his practices where he would just put his hand on his heart and say, thank you for this beating heart and this breath today. Like, what a gift. And
Mm.
I think that's what I really put into perspective on some of the most challenging days is holy shit. Like, you woke up today, you got another crack at this life, right? Like, tomorrow's never promised. And I think that's always been it for me. And I think what keeps me humble too, it's just like, Oh, girl, like it is such a blessing to wake up in the morning. I think we really, really do take that for granted. Like, God forbid we need to lose someone or somebody in our family gets sick for us to have that reminder. I have somebody who's very ill in my family right now, and it's like, oh my gosh, even more. It's not like it's creating this sense of urgency, but it's creating this moment in me to be present, to really appreciate what I have in front of me, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like we often come from so much lack, but when we can open up our eyes and be like, holy, like I could sit for hours and just list off things that I'm grateful for, right? Right down to the beating heart and the breath and this beautiful conversation with you today. That's literally winning the lottery
I
right
love
there.
it. Okay, play with me. You're on stage at your TEDx talk, and it's the last three sentences of your closing speech, and there are thousands and thousands of people here watching you, cheering you on, and they're just captivated. How are you going to close this speech? This is the last thing that you're going to leave them with.
I freaking love that. Um, I feel like I've been waiting for this moment my whole life. I'm so about words. I love words. My whole house is filled with it. But what I would say for anybody, and this is my favorite, I even had to get it made into a sign: love your life. Take pictures of everything. Tell people you freaking love them. Talk to random strangers. Do things that you're scared to do. Fuck it, because so many of us die and nobody remembers a thing that we did. So take your life and make it the best damn story in the world. Do not waste it. Do not waste it. That's what I would tell people. It's my favorite thing. And when I read that or I hear it, it fires me right up. And that's what I want for people, to make your life the best damn story that you can, right? Don't
Yeah.
waste it.
I
Don't
love
waste it.
that, and I can see that TEDx talk already. I actually we're doing this My Time to Rise Summit, and had I known this was going to happen, we would have made you a part of it. So the next one, I'm just
Totally.
saying.
And that'll be perfect divine timing anyway, Amy, because by then I'll totally be out of my own way. I'll be so ready to be speaking and doing the thing by then.
Amazing. Okay, where do people go and find your jewelry and get this piece that is your favorite right
It
now?
is my favorite, which is so funny. Like you said when you introduced me, I don't feel like I'm selling jewelry either. Um, I've always just had a love for creating, and this is just a way I create a space for women to feel seen and heard, right? It's more like a community for me with DBL, right? Like women can come, show up as you are, and I just want to leave them like a little bit better off each time when they get ready in the morning, they put their jewelry on. I want them to have a little piece of my joy, my excitement for them, right? Like that I'm cheering them on,
Yeah.
but also I want them to be their own number one fan and biggest cheerleader. So
Mhm.
anybody, anytime can come to, I would say our Instagram is the funnest, which it's DBL Dream Believe Live, DBL Designs on Instagram, and our actually I everything's bright and colorful. Doesn't matter where you go, you're gonna feel uplifted, right? So they can follow us on Instagram, or even our website is super fun. We post blogs and so many cool helpful tips on there for women just to love who they are a bit more. So I think that even says it on the website. We're not selling jewelry. We're creating hope. We're creating change, self-love, empowerment, and self-worth, right? So DBL, which stands for Dream Believe Live, and it's my dream for women to just fully authentically love who they are and put that out into the world. So I am over the moon that I was here with you having this, I some of this stuff you can't make up. It's like this is divine conversation, like divine timing, how we even met and connected, all of the things.
Yeah, I'm so with you on that. And I just can't wait. I'm like in the energy of like Krista on the stage with the book and the microphone in her hand. I mean, I'm a big dreamer like you too. So
Yeah.
I see things, and why not
Yes.
embody that energy right here, right now? And it's just been such a joy. Like really.
Totally. I totally agree. And like maybe this is like, I don't know, you fired up something in me too, and I think that's what's so special. We rise by lifting others, and when we can give somebody that beautiful, like I truly like feel that with women. It's like I want, there's more than enough room for us all to succeed and do well. Like
Yes.
I feel like sometimes we feel like even oh, if they're making jewelry then I can't, or if she's making those sales then that means I'm not going to. But no, like we all have room to do our area of expertise, and that's what I think. We just need to put more of our love and magic out into the world, because it inspires like each other to just rise and do our best. So I'm so like honored to have this conversation, and I know there's going to be some beautiful takeaways for so many as well.
Yeah, thanks so much for being here, and I can't wait to see where your life takes you.
Yeah, and like shout out to anybody if you're just listening. You're gonna have to like go. I'm not sure where they go, but they need to come like get a visual of us with our glasses on.
Oh yes, well yeah. If you're
So
only
good.
listening to the audio, please go to YouTube, or Spotify has the video version now too. So, and
This is my favorite.
we'll be posting these reels on Instagram. So
Yes, we will.
Yeah.
Yes.
Awesome.
Oh,
Thank
so
you,
freaking
Krista.
good.
Listen up, you miracle worker. Ever wondered what it's like to have your soul painted directly onto a canvas? Yeah, you heard that right. A quantum soul painting from Amy, where your higher self goes full diva mode and takes over the paintbrush. It's like your soul did a full-on runway walk and then said, let's put that energy everywhere. But wait, that's not all. Ever wanted to know what's really going on behind the scenes of your life? Well, buckle up for a soul reading so mind-blowing you'll be asking, how the hell did she read my soul like a book? Spoiler, it's magic. And guess what? You can ask Amy any question, and like a cosmic wizard, she'll pull out a channeled answer, a spontaneous riff, or an unscripted soul speech that's really a transmission in disguise. It's like your soul's personal TED Talk, except way cooler and more mystical. So if you're ready to take your soul's VIP tour, Amy is here about to drop some cosmic wisdom and paint your life in high definition color. What are you waiting for? Your soul just sent a memo. It's time to go.